How'd I do?
You stuttered a little bit, I think.
Dang it.
A little bit.
Rhythm is not my forte.
It's okay. It's okay. Um, just because you just said rhythm, our first. So we've talked before. I've mentioned a lot of times. We go to the symphony a lot. We have one of the not. They've got like season passes, or like if you were to go to everything, it's like, I don't know, 24 performances or something like that. Because I think they have three
Yeah, yeah.
sections of 8. Anyway, da
Uh-huh.
da da da. Saturday night was our first symphony tickets, and it was Andy Akiho, who's a drummer from New York City, and we've seen him before, and
Okay.
he's very cool. But just because you were talking about percussion or rhythm, and he plays the steel pan, which because he's from or his background
Okay.
at least is Caribbean, although I think he grew up in New York, and anyway, it was very cool.
Okay.
It was the not the world premiere, but maybe the West Coast premiere. I don't know, because the symphony like has these artists in residence, right? And
Uh-huh.
they what do you call when you pay somebody to compose a song for you? They charter it. They
Commission.
commission. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the right word. They
Okay.
commissioned this piece, and it was basically a cello concerto, I think you'd say, and which was cool. It was totally cool. They had a I don't know if I presume a famous cellist. I don't know my cellists,
Yo yo ma.
but anyway, it was very clear that the composer
Mm-hmm.
was a drummer because the cello parts were very rhythmic, staccato, as like
And not
not traditional, but it was really good. I have to say, I think I might have said this on the podcast before. If not, I have thought it many times. I generally don't like modern music. Like, they bring in and they're like, hey, this piece is supposed to represent whatever, and I'm just like, ooh, can we get to the Beethoven in the second half, or whatever it is.
okay.
But
Okay. Okay.
but anyway, it was a great
Hmm.
piece. It was really awesome. But when you said rhythm, I was like, ooh, yeah, it was pretty
I
cool though.
I don't have rhythm. Yeah. All good though.
Isn't that a song? There's some lyrics. I've got
I've
rhythm.
got rhythm. Yeah, that's not me. Um,
That's all good. Well, how was your weekend?
it was nice. It was a nice weekend. So we went out and found a hike. My wife was, hey, we should go on a hike somewhere. I'm like, all
Let-
right, where do you want to go? She said, let's go see a waterfall. Like, there's lots of those around.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I was lazy or what, but I just Googled waterfalls near me just to see what it would do. And apparently there's this really cool little waterfall up in Cedar. So just north end of town, kind of hidden right off the main road. You kind of hike down on this trail. It's the Cedar Mill Falls. And it's this really beautiful waterfall. I mean, it's not huge. I mean, it's 15, 20 feet, but it's right there. And so we went on a little hike and, saw a waterfall this weekend. It was nice.
That's so
It
awesome.
was, it was, you know, it was there. And
Yeah. It was a lovely
then
weekend.
it was. And most of the rest of the weekend was just kind of a lazy weekend. My wife has got knee deep into Tress of the Emerald Sea
Uh,
and finished it just a couple hours ago.
okay.
And I felt bad because I was trying to turn her into a Sander fan. And she she kept asking me over the last couple weeks she's been reading this. So does this character actually do X, or this character's really the bad guy, right? She and
Uh,
I'm like, I need to reread it because she thought I was trying to keep secrets from her and have her find out herself. And in reality, it's like I don't remember.
it's been a year ago. I
Plus,
don't really
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
but after her, she enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go reread that one. Maybe I can squeeze that one in before Stormlight 5 comes out in a month and a little bit.
ooh,
So
okay. Okay. So it's almost ready
yeah.
for me to start listening to Stormlight 4 again.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Anyways, so there you go. That was my weekend.
There you go. I think the rest of my fun for the weekend was working on the chicken coop more. So
Okay.
I I I think when last I left you, I had built a wall, but I did not. This weekend I put mesh on that wall. A 1/4 inch hardware cloth.
Right.
And I built a door, and I put the mesh on the door, and I put the hinges on the door, and the door shuts. It's very nice. And I built a nesting box and painted it. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Not. I think I told you I need to get this all done before the end of November or before the end of October. So, I think this weekend will be finishing off the fence. Is my goal for this weekend.
I think your
So,
chickens are going to live in a nicer place than my first apartment in college.
oh, oh, yes. You and me both. Thinking of some of my young early 20s apartments. They were
Yeah.
a little, what would the kids say these days? Sketch? I don't know.
Sus. Wait, no.
Sus.
Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah.
We're old. We
Yeah.
can't use those words.
Orange Shag. Orange Shag wasn't even good in the 90s. Like it was.
I remember that when I was like a kid. That's one of my first memories, like 5 or 6 years. That young is one of the few memories I have is orange shag carpet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
We had an apartment in grad school that was, in retrospect, it's okay. What
grade the
like
carpet.
you gotta come from somewhere, and that's all good. It's all good. We were
Yeah,
happy.
that's right.
I had with my 486,
Okay.
and anyway, yeah, it's all good. It was all good. Anyway, so I got a bunch done, which was awesome, and then
Nice.
yeah, so my parents are here, and so we did a little bit of lathe work, and my dad's going to take my old little lathe down home with him, and that will clear one more thing out of my shop, which is awesome. So, you know, it was a great weekend. It was a great weekend.
Nice.
I was
Good.
busy though. It didn't seem like I had a lot
Yeah.
of free time. So I'm thinking lazy day. It feels like it's been a while since I had a lazy day.
Yeah. I think I have been going nonstop since Monday afternoon. Tuesday was just nonstop busy. Today was nonstop busy. So I need a nap.
I will say yesterday, I mean, I might be a little giddy tonight because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because yesterday after work, I went upstairs and, I don't think anybody was in the house. Maybe one of my boys was in his room or something like that. I laid down on the bed for a few minutes and woke up an hour and a half later and was like, oh, well, I guess I was tired. But that meant that it took me a while to go. I was reading. I read for too long last night. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bad that way.
I
Get into a
make the
book
same choice
and then I'm
occasionally.
tired.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you going to do? Enjoy reading. So,
Same.
yeah.
All right. Speaking of reading, do you want me to jump into my topic?
hit me with the reading topic.
So, I don't know if you have ever had the joy and opportunity of receiving a piece of letter in the mail with a picture of your vehicle and the license plate with a ticket associated with it from a photo radar trap
I have
somewhere.
I have not actually had that pleasure.
I have,
Although I have been at
unfortunately.
or near intersections when the light went off on somebody else, and I have thought,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to have a bad day in their future.
Yeah. Well, I saw this article in Wired, so I would say this is security adjacent, more privacy related from
Okay.
but the license plate readers and the companies that put these out, and this actually happens. This is a study by Julia Weist, who
Okay.
is documenting data sets as part of her work. And what she's discovered is a lot of these license plate systems, they take pictures of wherever they're at and then do OCR. And if you have a picture that's not just of a license plate, and you OCR everything in that picture and then make that database searchable, you can now search for things like bumper stickers, political bumper stickers. What do certain license plates, if these photo radar things are in neighborhoods, or, they have the ones that you roll around and you set up and stop. I don't know if you've seen those around.
Oh.
The
portable ones.
Portable ones that kind of move around to neighborhoods. They'll take pictures. And you can search for pretty much anything. This Julia Weiss, who's been documenting this, said she searched for the word believe and found a whole bunch of lawn signs, pictures of people's homes on lawn signs that had the word believe on it. And you can search for the word lost, and you'll see flyers that people have put up for lost dogs and cats. So the resolution clearly is quite good. And so beyond just the license plates that these companies are collecting, it's getting tons of information about people's personal political views, homes, etc. And to get into maybe a little bit of the tinfoil hat area, but this was Wired, so this wasn't conspiraciesrs.com. It's like one of those things that starts to really reveal the extent at which surveillance is happening on a mass scale around America that no one thinks about. So this license plate recognition systems, if you're a private investigator, you get a license. If you're police, all sorts of folks can legally have access to these types of database. They're not publicly available on the internet, but they might be at some point.
How does one get
S3 bucket
access to them? I'm sure there's ways to apply.
Yeah, you apply, and if you are a registered private investigator for whatever state you live in, you can get access to these databases and search for whatever you want to your heart's content.
Interesting.
I just thought this was a fascinating look at the amount of data. I mean, because we deal with tons of data at work all the time. We have, that all the big companies, if you're not paying for the product, then you're the product, or however that saying goes.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
No. And
let alone a free product.
There's no such thing as just a picture of your license plate. So anyways, the article is much longer and much more in depth and a lot more interesting as this, it kind of follows this Julia Weiss person who is documenting a bunch of stuff. She had applied for, she became a private investigator. She's not a private investigator. She just became one so she could apply and get access to this database. And then she started writing articles about what she could see in this database. And then her access, of course, was
mysteriously
an audit
revoked.
Reviewed that you were abusing the terms of service and therefore you're revoked, kind of thing. So anyways, that was my article. I would go check it out. A Wired article about just, I think occasionally we think of, you see a lot of shows. One of the shows I like on Apple TV is Slow Horses. And they talk a lot about track that on CCTV. The police are like tracking people. There's a lot of cameras in the UK.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cameras in the US as well. They're just not as open and vocal about it like they are in the UK.
Right.
So anyways.
Okay, great article.
That's my article for this week.
And we did not collude about this, but I feel like both of our articles kind of lead in a dystopian direction. Because the article that I chose was about smart glasses. And this is an Ars Technica article. I don't know if you saw this week.
I did see this one too.
Right? Where a couple of Harvard students took the Meta smart glasses and wrote software on them to automatically identify people just by looking at them in open face reverse image search facial data sets, and then combine that data with the data aggregators so that as you look through a crowd, you can identify people, where they live, how old they are, anything that's about them. Combine that with a license plate reader, you can tell what
Mm-hmm.
their, perhaps what their, I mean, you could probably already tell what their
Bumper
political
stickers.
affiliation is based on if they've
Sure.
ever donated to a party or candidate.
Right.
But yeah, so um, so this is um, two students. They linked a pair of Meta Ray-Ban 2s to an invasive search engine called Pim Eyes.
An invasive search engine.
That's what
That's
that's I was reading
so
a
it's not
quote
a
there.
regular search engine. It's an invasive one.
Yeah. Uh,
It seems like a very specific call out in the
I,
article.
it is. It's in fact, I mean, it's a link. I guess I didn't follow the link, so I don't know where that goes. But to help identify strangers by cross searching their information on various people search databases. They then used a large language model to rapidly combine all that data, making it possible to dox someone in a glance or surface information to scam someone in seconds.
Mm.
So, just walking down the platform going, "Oh, hey, John. Hey, don't you remember me? I'm Eric. We went to
Yeah,
we went to college
Minority
together."
Report.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let's see. Next thing I pulled out was they chose Meta Ray-Bans 2 for their project because the smart glasses look almost indistinguishable from regular glasses, and that it was, quote, the creepiest way they could think of for a bad actor to try to scan faces undetected. Um, Sounds like they blacked out the light that is supposedly on when you're recording or something like that. Covered up the light.
Oh,
That probably violates the terms
cheaters.
of service or something like that too. But
Yeah. I'm sure.
you know,
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
they did say that they tested out their technology, quote, on unsuspecting people in the real world to demonstrate how the tech could be abused to trick people. They claim to know some of the test subjects, seemingly using information gleaned from the glasses to make resonant references and fake an acquaintance. Okay, so I didn't. If there was a
Mm.
video of that, I didn't notice it, but there might be in one of the deep links. It says that Facebook and Google have chosen not to release similar technologies,
Mm-hmm.
but that here's the other thing I pulled out. Other companies in the AI world are toying with the tech, including Clearview AI, a company behind a face search engine for cops that has also explored a pair of smart glasses that would run
I
its
think we've talked
facial
about them
recognition
before.
technology.
Yeah.
Have we talked about them before?
I feel like we've talked about Clearview.
Yeah, I mean they've been sued and they've been fined, but it does say that their goal, the quote is, "This is concerning for several reasons because Clearview's goal is to put almost every human in their facial recognition database." So, um, yeah, like your article, I think feeds very nicely into mine
Yeah.
in a very depressing sort of way. But the article did end. The Ars Technical article did end with a comment that they provided instructions for how to remove their faces from reverse face engines like PimEyes, FaceCheck ID, and people search engines like Fast People Search, Check Them, and Instant Checkmate. So I don't know
I,
what the removal success rate is on those, but if they are semi legit, probably. So you might take out the top, easy stuff, but if it can be used for semi legit purposes, there's others that are
oh yeah.
being collected that are not so respectful of regulations. So,
Yeah.
but you knew that was going to happen, right? I mean, that was
Mm-hmm.
pretty
Mm-hmm.
predictable tech. So,
Okay.
on that note, how about something fun?
Well, my something fun is the opposite of fun.
One of those, did you? we do
It's been one of
we
those
do
kind of
occasionally
days.
have those.
It's something not so fun, but I thought it was interest, especially since it's going to happen tomorrow or Friday. So we're recording on Wednesday night. So by the time most people listen to this, this will either have already happened or not. So A severe solar storm. So there's hurricanes going on the East Coast
Brutal,
right
brutal
now.
hurricanes. Yes.
Very unfortunate stuff. But apparently now a severe solar storm is headed to Earth that could stress power grids even more than the back-to-back hurricanes. Space weather forecaster said Wednesday today. So NOAA, the
Space
National
weather
Oceanic,
forecasting.
yeah,
That
that
is
sounds like a cool job.
that is a cool job.
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, issued a severe geomagnetic storm watch for Thursday into Friday after an outburst from the sun was detected earlier this week. Such storms could temporarily disrupt power and radio signals. So this was just kind of interesting to me. One of the results, there was another one that happened in May where you got to see auroras across the northern hemisphere, but it didn't really result in any major disruptions.
Uh-huh.
So this would be the, hey, maybe, just keep an eye out if power issues or whatever. They are saying that it's not going to get far enough to the south. So Florida and the places affected by the hurricane aren't going to be affected by any of this potential geomagnetic storm. But anyways, the thing that I'm pretty sure I knew this at some point, but I had forgotten or whatever, is this concept that every 11 years, the sun's magnetic pole flips.
Oh, I feel like I knew there was an 11-year cycle of some sort.
Yeah, so there is this 11-year cycle, and we are right at the peak of that cycle. So, and leading up to that flip is when you see a lot of increased solar activity, sunspots, solar flares, spectacular northern and southern lights. And apparently this current cycle began in 2019, going to peak in sometime in 2024, 25, before it returns back down to lower levels again. And so then I started to look up, well, how do you know it's 11 years? And apparently this happened. So here comes, I guess, the fun part.
Okay.
In the 18th century, the first decisive identification of this 11-year cycle came in 1843 when a German amateur astronomer identified it through a careful analysis of sunspots visible on the sun's surface over time. And what he found was that this number reaches a minimum value, typically 0, roughly every 11 years. This is like a long-term amateur astronomer to record stuff over
11 years.
Enough to notice that roughly every 11 years. So you got to figure it's at least
got to be 22. At 22. Yeah.
At least. Anyways, and so since that time, astronomers have continued to, kind of directly observe this 11-year cycle. And of course, as we got more scientific evidence, all this stuff. And so anyways, that was just kind of the thing that I thought pulled out of that as kind of the cool piece is we've known about this 11-year cycle because of an amateur astronomer from 1843. I'm sure we would have figured it out at some point later, but that was the first person who saw it.
That is cool.
There you go.
Can I pull out my pedant stick?
Yes.
This is totally not your fault because I know you cut and pasted this in. What century is 1843 in?
Oh,
it's the 19th. It's the 19th century, not the 18th century.
The 18th century.
That would be 1743 if it was the 18th century. So, anyway, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
It's like one of those things where my brain had a hiccup, but it was like,
well, no, you cut and pasted that.
I read it.
You cut and pasted that.
I read it.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, kids these days. Dang it, kids these days. Okay, well, so the question is, are we going to be able to see the Northern Lights again?
Apparently, yeah.
That would be awesome. The trick that you showed me with what was it? The phone camera. I want to try again.
They pick up light. Yeah, they pick up light that the human eye doesn't. So yeah, totally try that. Tomorrow night, assuming it's not cloudy out here.
Okay, that'd be fun. All right.
There you go.
I'll try and remember that. Okay, my something fun. Can I relate this? I don't know. This is a little bit different. A little weird too in some ways. Okay, so this was a couple of game developers that decided to do a real life treasure hunt in the northeastern part of the United States. It says Northwest Massachusetts. And they
Mm-hmm.
took and made a statue out of gold that was worth like $27,000 and hid it
Okay.
out in the out somewhere in the wilderness. And this is one of those seems like
Geocaching.
geocaching. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So and then they put it. They had this online site where I think you had to pay some dollars for a ticket in order to participate or be eligible for the prize or whatever. Although I guess if you found the
Okay.
$27,000 statue and didn't pay the $20 for the ticket, you might still be happy. But anyway, they had like a 500-mile, I didn't pull this out, I think diameter circle. And so it was somewhere in
Uh-huh.
there. So at the beginning of it. And then like every day they shrunk it a little bit. But they had
Right.
a live stream, like a camera going where they had hit it.
That you could see on the website. So they
And
the
and
a live
maybe that
stream
was the deal.
of
You had to, if you paid your $20, you could get onto the website to actually see
oh,
the live
okay,
stream or
to
something
see
like
what
that.
the live stream was
Yeah.
showing. So you could see the trees and
You could see
maybe
the trees, you could see the
whatever
other
else
things.
was around.
And it was supposed to go for a lot longer than it wound up going because a guy found it. And he has not
Uh-huh.
come forward yet, or at least as of when this article was written. And I put this in Slack like last week, so
Okay.
maybe he's come forward. I didn't do any more research on that, but anyway, so evidently the organizers were like frustrated because they're like, "Where's this person? We want to know how he found it. How in the world did he find it so early?" Although it had gotten down to where it said the circle was, I thought it was 27 miles wide. It was still pretty doggone big, but evidently the only evidence/interview that this article had with the person that found it was from a couple of hikers who met or ran into him on his way out of the forest.
Okay.
So here's the quote was, John and Liz Fliss told Boston.com they ran into the winner right as he left the area, trophy in hand. He was very genuine, super nice and calm. John said of the winner, who has not publicly identified himself. He was just super excited he had the trophy. uh,
Huh.
so here's the thing. Liz said that the winner told the couple he was a meteorologist in Boston. She said he used weather tools, local temperature, aerial footage, detailed maps, and cloud coverage to determine the exact location of the statue.
Huh.
And that he was about to give up, but he saw some clouds overhead. He then used the shade patterns from the cloud coverage, cross-referenced them with the live stream of the prize, and then raced back and found it in the woods. So I
Wow.
thought, there you go. That's pretty, if you're going to show a live stream, like, you know,
Well,
pe-
I
pe-
want to say I've
people
seen
are clever.
I've seen some YouTube videos where
Oh,
a guy will go sit in a park somewhere and say, "I have $100 for the first person that finds me."
they do like
And he all he
the
does is he
Google.
just has the camera just on him, so you can only see the background. And within like half an hour, like hour, 2 hours, someone will find him. And there people follow these type of people.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And there's the inverse I've seen where there's a guy who says, "Send me a picture anywhere, in Google Earth from anywhere, and I'll find it."
Right.
And so he takes a picture and tries it. All that stuff is just
Is
really kind of
super
cool.
clever, super
This
clever, super clever.
one's
So,
fascinating to
so
me.
there you go. I thought I read this sometime this week or last
Yeah.
weekend, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It also sort of semi interacts with crypto because evidently on the bottom of the statue there's a wallet ID that contains like 80 some $1,000 that is basically like the big prize was actually they but he hasn't claimed it yet.
Oh.
And anyway, so they're like, this is kind of a mystery. So
Huh.
anyway,
No, so I went to the website projectskydrop.com
uh-huh.
just to see, and it's got a bunch of pictures of what it looks like, and that just looks like fun. I mean, good for
Right?
somebody to try something, and just I think that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
So
So there's one day left, it says, but
Mm-hmm.
and there was like a secondary prize that if you gave the exact like lat long or something like that, you get like $100 for the first 1,000 people that do it, or I don't know. There was some other sort of way that they kind of kept it still going, but it was found, and there's a picture. There's the you're right, on projectskydrop.com. There's a picture of the person picking up the statue,
Mm-hmm.
just on a frame.
So they
So,
have his socks and
so
shoes.
yeah, you look at walk around the nearest town looking for somebody wearing I don't know. Those look like New Balance to me, or are they Adidas?
Adidas. I think those are Adidas.
Oh, okay, Adidas.
There you go.
There you go.
Somebody's wife is like, honey, do you have money that you're not telling me about?
Where did this gold statue come from?
Yeah.
Is this worth $26,082.85?
Did you notice the Bitcoin address on the bottom of this statue?
Anyway, I thought that was fun.
All right.
There you go. That was cool.
Fun.
All right,
All
my
right,
friend.
John.
I will
Have a
talk to you
good
later.
night.
All right.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.